Sam, welcome to the show. Sam, man with a plan. Good to talk to you. Right, so we've got to go straight
nice
there.
To be here.
Lovely to meet you, Sam. We've got to go straight in there. The match last night, what did you make of it?
Well, obviously, we're all very disappointed because when you have lost a game of football, we all agree, I think, I don't need to be an expert to say that we didn't deserve to lose it, but we have to look at the key moments in the game, of course. And the two key moments for me particularly are the second goal that England let in, which could have been avoidable, and, of course, the penalty that, unfortunately, the captain of England had missed at Sir Harry Kane, like you mean. So he was very nervous. I think that you can see him puffing and blowing his cheeks under the extreme pressure that the World Cup brings and what penalties brings to the game in the World Cup in the knockout stages. And unfortunately, we were all sat there very comfortably thinking that Harry will score because he rarely misses a penalty, and right at the very wrong time for England and him. It was a miss, and a big miss, unfortunately, ballooned over the bar, didn't even make the keeper make a save, sadly.
I know, it's a real bummer, isn't it, when it goes like that? And the thing is, he's got to deal with all that pressure. I would definitely, I think I'd crack under that. I don't think I'd be able to do that. So for you, it's tough, isn't it? Really, really, so you shouldn't think too badly. They did quite well. They squandered a load of chances, I've got to say. To be fair, I didn't think they would win, but that's just me. But you've been managing football clubs for a while. What made you get into that?
Oh, a childhood dream from 9 years old to play football. I think that when I started 9 years at school and worked all the way through the school to finally become an apprentice at Bolton Wanderers at 15, then I dream of getting in Bolton Wanderers first team. That was achieved in, I think it was 73. From 73, I had a great career in football in all four divisions. A very, very, very great spell in American football in the soccer league out there. And finally decided that it was time for me to move into management. And I think that having had a number of managers and a number of clubs over the years in all the divisions, I felt with my experience it was the right thing to do. Gain my qualifications as best I could and then waited for the jobs to come along. And, of course, nothing comes easy in this game. And I started at the bottom, worked my way up throughout all the divisions, through all the divisions in football, in the Football League, and finally ended up at the very top, which I'm so pleased about. When I sit here thinking at 15 when I left school, would I still be talking about football at 68? And, of course, yes, I am. And only recently probably I haven't had a football club for, I think, nearly 2 years now. So, wonderful time. Really have enjoyed every minute of it. And fantastic career I've had. And I look back on that with great fondness.
You're looking good for 68, really? Is that all?
Thank you very much.
What would you say then? Because a lot of people, you've had a great career. You've done pretty much, your reality, your dream is, your reality is your dream, which is amazing. Not many people get to do that. If you were to look back on it,
yes.
If you were to look back on it though, and I know probably loads of people probably ask you this, but your biggest achievement or the moment in your life where you just thought, wow, I can't believe that this is me. The imposter syndrome suddenly dissipates and you think, crikey, I'm actually, this is me.
Well, yes, I mean, that was getting in the Premier League. I think that with my club that I first joined at Bolton Wanderers at 15, they chose for me to come back and me to manage them into the Premier League. Ultimately, when I got them in the Premier League, that we set out a very good plan, a very good staff, very good playing staff, and found ourselves in the European leagues within 4 years. So that was an outstanding achievement. I think the career took a little dip, unfortunately, by being in the wrong place at the wrong time, with a couple of new owners that came in at Newcastle and Blackburn that unfortunately decided to move me on. But I mean, then the ultimate dream was, which ended up the poison chalice, was be the England job, of course. What person who's in football or manages football doesn't want to have the top job in the country? And I managed to clinch that. So it didn't last as long as it should have lasted. And, of course, the sting was a sting because it was proven after that I didn't break any third-party rules, and that was housed in the House of Commons and across the Telegraph by our pursuit of some justice in the end, which took over 2 years. So But
listen.
then I moved on and moved
Sam,
on to Palace and moved on to Everton. So that's well behind me now. I wish England all the best. I wish Gareth all the best and the lads, because they are a fantastic team and a fantastic squad.
Well, I was going to say you lasted longer than Liz Truss. I couldn't resist. But you mentioned England, Southgate. Do you think after this, do you think he should be sacked? A lot of people saying, because when managers don't win, that's what happens.
I think Gareth and the FA have done extremely well. We have to remember that even in our disappointment today, that he's had the best record since Sir Alf Ramsey, of course. So I think that we have a squad that's good enough. It didn't quite achieve all what it wanted to this time. Very close to that, but they get more and more experience as time goes on. So this squad's still got a lot of good football in it, and it's up to Gareth. And I think he decides himself when he reflects on this, not too early, of course, with his disappointment, but reflects on that with the FA. I would be highly surprised if the FA turned around and made the decision on their own and went to Gareth and said, we're going to look for a new manager. I think that would be a discussion that they both have, and the outcome will be seen by whoever it is, and whenever this meeting is, and whenever they reflect on the meeting. I mean, they should wait a while to let everything settle down and then look at the situation and then come together and see. Has got a contract till 2014, so I think at the very least he should get the Euros in the next 2 years.
And what about, because this particular World Cup ended up being a bit political, rainbow laces, then there was the knee and all this. I mean, it was just like, for goodness sake, just play the goddamn game. What is your view on a lot of that? So the knee taking, the laces, whatever people want to do to show what they think and what they believe. Do you think it's necessary?
Well, obviously, people, if they feel strongly enough and want to speak up, will speak up. But there's a certain point where you have to put that to bed and put it to one side and concentrate on what the actual fact of the matter is, that it's the world stage and it's the world football stage, and we should focus on the football. So I think the demonstration died down after the early stages, which I'm glad to say. But politics really should stay out of football, personally, from my point of view, and play the beautiful game, So, yes, demonstrations will happen because people may take notice, and they continue to happen, obviously, when the World Cup was finished. So, yes, I'm glad it hasn't spoilt it in the end, because I do think it has been a very good World Cup, and more importantly, I think the entertainment value has been very good from all the teams. And I'd have to say that in Doha, Qatar, they've put on a terrific show with all those stadiums. Perhaps a little on the downside is lots of people have had trouble with tickets, as technology seems to let us down again. Forget these barcodes and get to tickets and get through the turnstiles and get everybody in to watch a game. That's probably been the most disappointing, I would think.
Yeah, but that's where they're coming home, though, now, isn't it? Football's coming home. No, they're coming home. Bless their hearts. They did a good job. It's tough. Now, for you, though, now you've done all this managing and everything else like that. What is your focus?
My focus is basically still watching a lot of football, doing quite a lot of podcastings on football, of course, been doing it all over the World Cup, of course, and talking to people like yourself regarding the game. And I think that that will obviously continue. I like doing the media stuff. I like being involved in the media, and I think that doing that is a great way to pass the time, keep yourself active. So. If a job comes up, of course, you would always consider that job, of course. But the jobs at the moment are not coming my way. Nobody's ringing up yet. So one just sits back and waits. Apart from I have had a few offers abroad, but abroad at my age is not for me. I don't want to shift the family, pack them up and send them to a European country particularly. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, that would have been great, but not for me now.
No, don't blame me. I'm quite lazy like that as well. I'm not going anywhere. I love this country. It's great. And so your podcast, if people want to check out the podcast, Where will they find it? What do they need to look for?
It's on William Hill. It's with William Hill, my podcast. I don't know whether I should advertise that for you. I'm sorry about that if I shouldn't have done. But I've been doing the World Cup with William Hill all the way through. So that's still continuing, even though England have got knocked out till the final. So, and maybe beyond from there, some great guests on. Duncan Ferguson, Sammy Lee, Peter Reid, of course, Robbie Savage, and lots of others on the way. So, yeah, it's been very, very good talking about football.
Wallace and Sam Allardyce, lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for being my outside guest. Maybe sometime you'll be prepared to travel down to the studio here in London, because I'd love to see you in person.